Jazakallah Sufi Sahib for enlightening our hearts with the praise, poetry, salawat upon the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as brothers know, today's gathering is in honor, in shan of an elect personality, one whom needs no introduction. He, radiallahu anhu, was created from the khamil, the leftover dust that was used to create the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This individual is none other than the great Imam Rabbani, Mahmood Subhani, Qayyum Zamani, Shahbaz La Makani, Shaykh Ahmad al Faruqi Sirhind-Fatehgarh Punjab radiyallahu Subhanallah. In many of the hadith sharif of Aka sallallahu alaihi wasallam has it been mentioned about Mujaddid Alf. In one particular hadith, Aka sallallahu alaihi wasallam refers in general to the Mujaddids. And Aka sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise a man who will revive this deen upon every 100 years. But Huzur Mujaddid radiyallahu anhu didn't have the musharraf of being Mujaddid for 100 years. But rather he radiallahu anhu is the Mujaddid for 1,000 years. And just like 1,000 holds superiority over 100, does Mujaddid radiallahu anhu hold superiority over other Mujaddids. Alhamdulillah, they are all Mubarak in their own rank, in their own shan. But this unique quality, this unique gift was specific to the great Mujaddid rahmatullah. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a man at the head of the 11th century who will be a magnificent light, who are nurun azimun. His name will be my name, ismuhu ismi. He will come between two mighty kings, and thousands of people will enter Jannah through his shafa'ah, through his intercession. To go on to this, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, there will be a person in my ummah who will be called Silla, literally meaning a link or a connection, with whose intercession, whose shafa'at, many people will enter paradise. And the great Mujaddid radiyallahu anhu writes in one of their letters to their venerable son, the great Khaja Sarkar Muhammad Masoom rahmatullah, and they say all praise is for Allah. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah who has made me a silla, a link between the two oceans, and a reformer between the two groups, referring to Sharia and Tasawwuf. And this letter, my brothers, was written to explain the great spiritual realities that occur after every 1,000 years, after every millennium, in which the great Mujaddid rahmatullah alayhi also discusses the real purpose of his birth. Thus, what has been mentioned is not just common expression, but an affirmation that this applies specifically to the great Mujaddid rahmatullah alayhi wa radiyallahu anhu. And inshallah, as the gathering goes ahead, we will look at some of the works of this great individual. And for the next part of the gathering, Najib would like to invite Mohtaram Sufi Sahil Sahib to the mic to lead us in the blessed poem of the mantle, the Qasida al-Burda Sharif of the great Imam Sharfuddin Basiri rahmatullah alayhi wa radiyallahu anhu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام والصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيد الأولين والآخرين وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا أكرم الأولين والآخرين. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. الحمد لله منشئ الخلق من آدم ثم الصلاة على المختار في القدم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. أقسمت بالقمر المنشق إن له من قلبه نسبة مبرورة القسم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. وما هوى غار من خير ومن كريم وكل طرف من الكفار عنه عمي. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. فالصدق في الغار والصديق لم يرايا وهم يقولون ما بالغار من حرام. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من علب ومن عجم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل هول من الأهوال مقتحم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك the cave. He stood by you all his life and sticks by you in your grave. Mawlaya salli wa sallim daiman abada ala habibika khairil khalqi kullihim. Look at Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Mawla Ali. We love them for they have spent their lives in your company. Mawlaya salli wa sallim daiman abada ala habibika khairil khalqi kullihim. Have mercy, O Prophet, for the sake of your family, the two princes of heaven, and Fatima and Ali. Mawlaya salli wa sallim daiman abada ala habibika khairil khalqi kullihim. O pilgrims, do tell us how is our sweet Medina, how is Siddiq
Mazid. Can I ask all the those to please continue to move forward? Sufi Rahim Saab's knee is touching my knee, so I am just as squashed but as comfortable as all of you. Alhamdulillah. Nothing to be uncomfortable about because we are under the gaze of the great Shaykh before us. Alhamdulillah, Mahfali, Durood Salaam. So please, with this muhabbat, keep moving forward. We have Sangi who come all the way from Glasgow, north, and all the way from Luton, south. So they didn't come to sit in that ceremony. So these brothers didn't travel 3 hours and 4 hours to sit in that side room. They came here to do the ziyarat of the Shaykh and be in this mahfil of Durood Salaam with their fillah dos, with their peer bhai. Jazakallah khair, keep moving forward, and Rahim, can your knee touch my knee? Otherwise they'll say I didn't tell the truth. Jazakallah khair.
MashaAllah. Only muhabbat grows, my brothers, with this closeness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to pack together closely. As the winter months come, inshallah, it will bring heat amongst us and increase in our love, inshallah. Continuing ahead with the theme of today's gathering, the great Mujaddid Pak, Rahmatullah alayhi wa radiyallahu anhu, even before their coming, many awliya kamilin, many of the great awliya were awaiting the arrival of the great Mujaddid Pak, Rahmatullah alayhi. It is said that the great Maulana Abdul Rahman Jami, Rahmatullah alayhi wa radiyallahu anhu, who was a murid of the great Khaja Baidullah Ahrar, Rahmatullah alayhi, it is stated that one of the imams before their time, Shaykh Abdul Jami, Rahmatullah alayhi, Mazrat Shaykh Ahmad Jami, Rahmatullah alayhi, they write in their book that a man named Ahmad will come after 400 years at the end of the millennium. He will be a source of great light and guidance. And it is said that the great Sayyidina Ghaus-e Azam radiyallahu anhu were once in a state of muraqbah, a state of zikr, in the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they see an immense light. The light is shining so bright, it is so intense that it outshines all of the lights. And the great Ghaus Pak radiyallahu anhu asked, Ya Allah, who is this great light? And through Ilham, the reply comes that this is the light of Shaykh Ahmad al Faruqi Sirhind-Fatehgarh Punjab. And the great Ghaus Pak radiyallahu anhu take their Jubba Mubarak and hand it to their Subzada Abdul Razak Rahmatullah alayhi, and they say, keep this as an amanat and make sure it gets to Mujaddid Pak of Sirhind Rahmatullah alayhi. And generation by generation, this blessed Jubba Sharif is passed down until it reaches the great Shah Kamal Kirtani Qadri Rahmatullah alayhi radiyallahu anhu. And during the infancy of Hazur Mujaddid Pak, a state of illness overcomes them, and their blessed father take them to the presence of Shaykh Shah Kamal Qadri Rahmatullah alayhi, who take the blessed child and put their Nawabadan, the blessed saliva Mubarak, in the blessed mouth of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi, and they say to the blessed father, don't worry about this child, for he will be a great light and a source of guidance. He will be a reviver of the deen. And they then take the Jubba Mubarak and hand it over to their blessed grandson, Shaykh Shah Sikandar Kitli Rahmatullah alayhi. And that is the individual who passes over the Jubba Sharif to the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. Such was the rank of this elect personality that even before their blessed birth, the blessed mother states that I have visions of many and many awliya coming to me, and they are giving me Mubarak on the coming of my son. And if that wasn't enough, then the blessed father sees Aka Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam are giving the adhan in the blessed ears of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi, and they are giving the takbir in the blessed ears of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. And inshallah, as the mahfil continues, we will look through the blessed childhood of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi for the next part of the gathering, Naat or Mankabat in the Bargah of Aka sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We would like to welcome Mohtaram Sufi Nafisa from Keithley. If Sufi Saab can make their way to the front, inshallah, and lead us in what they feel appropriate, whether it's Naat Sharif, whether it's Mankabat Sharif, it's all in love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the awliya of this ummah, inshallah. Jazakallah success.
رسول اللہ
MashaAllah, that was our dear brother Muhtaram Sufi Nafis Saab taking this mehfil to new heights. And sometimes there's certain things that can only be expressed in the form of Naat Sharif and Manqabat. Words, speaking just don't bring things to that extent, to the level that they should do. Alhamdulillah, we continue ahead with the theme of today's gathering. And as Najeez mentioned, before the blessed coming and the coming of the great Mujaddid Park was anticipated by many awliya, and their blessed shan was said even before they blessed this world with their presence, then one cannot imagine or comprehend how their life then spanned out from there. Even during their young days in infancy and childhood, they had memorized the blessed kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran at a very young age, and then their blessed father sent them to study the further sciences of the deen to Sialkot in Punjab under the tutelage of Mullah Kamaluddin Kashmiri Rahmatullah Alayhi. And by the age of 17, Hazur Mujaddid Park Rahmatullah Alayhi were faragh from tafsir. They had been given ijazah to initiate in Tariqa Qadriya, Chistiya and Suhrawardiya only at the age of 17, my brothers. The age of 17. But still, Mujaddid Park Rahmatullah Alayhi, they were looking for something else. Their thirst hadn't been quenched, and they were looking and searching, and it was only until their blessed father passed away that they then made niyat and set out for Hajj. And en route to Hajj, they passed through Delhi in India when they encountered their Shaykh to be the great Sayyid Radiyuddin Hazur Khaja Baqi Billah Rahmatullah Alayhi, and one gaze from the great master and Hazur Mujaddid Park Rahmatullah Alayhi stopped there. They said, this is what I have been searching for, this is what I have been yearning for, this right here is what I'm looking for. And they take the initiation into the Tariqa Naqshbandiya and spend somewhat 2 years, just over 2 years, in the close company and the servitude of Hazur Baqi Billah Rahmatullah Alayhi. And in them 2.5 years or so, the great Khaja Baqi Billah Rahmatullah Alayhi gave them everything that they needed to, and give them ijazah to initiate in Tariqa Naqshbandiya. But this, my brothers, wasn't of the own accord of the great Baqi Billah Rahmatullah alayhi. They too had been shown about the coming of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. During that time in Uzbekistan, under the tutelage of their Shaykh, the great Khaja Kangi Rahmatullah alayhi, they were instructed by their Shaykh, and they said, "Oh Baqi Billah, you make your way across to India and Delhi." And there was some slight hesitancy, if that's the right word to use, by Khaja Baqi Billah Rahmatullah alayhi. So the Shaykh instructed them to perform the Salatul Istikhara. And upon the hukam, they perform the Salatul Istikhara. What do they see in their dream, in their vision? They see a green parrot upon their blessed hand. And in this blessed dream that they see themselves placing their own blessed saliva in the mouth of the parrot. And in return, the parrot is placing sugar in the mouth of Baqi Billah Rahmatullah alayhi. Upon seeing this vision, they run to their blessed Shaykh and they say, "Ya Shaykh, Ya Murshid, I have seen this vision. What does this mean?" And the great Khaja Kangi Rahmatullah alayhi say, "My son, you will make your way to India, you will make your way to Delhi, and you will meet such a Shahbaz of Tariqat that he will give you fairs and you will give him fairs." And as that happened, that's how things planned out, alhamdulillah. And at this stage, Baqi Billah Rahmatullah alayhi, they were sending their khas murideen, their khas khulafa to Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. And one of the students speaks out at this stage and he says, "Hazur, my heart only has an inclination to you. My heart only yearns for you." And the great Khaja Baqi Billah Rahmatullah alayhi said to him, "My son, do you not see we are like the stars? And the great Mujaddid Pak is the sun. He is glowing. And although in this time there are many awliya Allah, each shining in their own right, but the light of Mujaddid Pak is that immense, that intense, that he outshines all of the lights." And my brothers, the accounts of their blessed life continue ahead. Inshallah, for the next part of the gathering, the Chiefs would like to give the mic to Qibla Sabzada Sahab for them to pray Mankabat, Naat Sharif, whatever they feel appropriate, inshallah. And we will continue ahead with the theme of the gathering after this, inshallah.
Sallallahu alayhi
Sanika Marisa
Subhanallah, Allah Mazid, Fazid. That was Qibla Shaykh, Wasif Mahmood Sahib Mutazil Awlali. Blessing goes with their beautiful voice in the Markabat, in love and honor of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. And with the mahfil being an hour and a half in time, it's difficult to cover such a huge personality and their entire life. So Alhamdulillah, Sallallahu Sahib in their great wisdom have covered this across 2 weeks. So inshallah next week's gathering will be a continuation in honor of the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi and the aspects of their blessed life which Nacheez has left out today. I'm sure Muhtaram Sufi Faisal Sahib will inshallah pick up and cover them next week. Just to share some of the accounts and some takeaway points for us all inshallah. During the blessed reign of Hazur Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi, as their Faizan, as they came to an aruj, at the same time fitna in the ummah was spreading under the leadership at that time under the King Akbar Badshah, and he wanted to combine all the religions into one and create his own Deen Akbari. So what he did was he looked to try and bring Buddhism, Hinduism, all the other religions into one. He wanted to infiltrate the Deen of Islam. He allowed alcoholism, womanization. He was really looking to go completely against the Sunnah of Aka Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And it was none other than the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi that stood to this tyranny. And Ab Rahmatullah alayhi overcame the king. And the next in line was Jahangir. And again he continued with this. And he even imprisoned the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi until he himself was blessed with the vision of Aka Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to Jahangir, "O Jahangir, do you know that you have imprisoned the wrong person? This is the only individual that was stood firm on my sunnah, and you have imprisoned him. How do you expect my shafaat?" And upon hearing this, Jahangir came into a state of woefulness, a state of regret, and his three main ministries, the three people who had toppled him through accepting the works of Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi. And in this time, Mujaddid Pak, when they were in prison for somewhat 2 years, they were writing letters out to the king saying, "Look, you are on the wrong here. The only deen here is the deen of Aka Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the deen of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala." And they at the same time would send letters to their friends, their families, their students, giving them counsel and advice. And this is something that we can take away from today's gathering inshallah. I tell myself first and foremost, and amongst the three things that the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi included in their letters, the first thing they said was stay firm on the Quran Kareem. The Quran Pak has been sent as an intercession for the people, as a shafaat for the people, and any difficulties one encounters in his life, he should look to refer to the Quran of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, the Kalam of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala for shifa. The second thing was the great Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi said, stay steadfast and climb on your namaz, on your salah. Namaz is the first question in the grave, and the one who is able to pass that stage, then the rest of the questioning will become easy for him inshallah. And Hazrat Sahib touched upon this point a couple of weeks ago when we had a sobat session with Hazrat Sahib in Dewsbury. Janab mentioned the importance of praying the salah in full. So the sunnah to waqta, the nawafil, and Hazrat Sahib with their great wisdom, they gave us a beautiful example. Nacheez's weak memory, I will try to relay what it was that Janab had mentioned, but for simple minds like myself so that I understand. Janab said, my sons, when you sit to eat at the table, if there was to be some sort of food, say a steak for example, on your plate, then would that look appetizing for you on its own? It probably would. But what if you was to complement that with some salad, with some chips and other bits and bats that really made that meal nice and appetizing? And in that same manner, when you present your salah in the court of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, the farz alhamdulillah is mubarak. But when you add the sunnah and you add the nawafil and present that in completeness in the court of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, then by sure it's a means of gaining the closeness to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. For on the day of judgment, if we find our farz fall short, then Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala in His infinite mercy will look at the sunnahs. And if they fall short, then He Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will look at the nawafil that we have prayed. So this, my brothers, the awliya Allah, they work with great wisdom and hikmah to explain to us how it's important to ensure that we fulfill namaz in its entirety inshallah. May Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala give me tawfiq first and foremost. And the third thing that the Mujaddid Pak Rahmatullah alayhi stressed on in greatness was, they said, stay engaged in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ensure no moment goes in ghaflat and heedlessness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the tawfiq to first and foremost act upon what I have said. Anything good is through nisbat with Qibla Hazrat Sahab, the fazl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any weakness and shortcomings are my own. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. And we leave with this one point inshallah from the verse of Shajara Sharif. Ya ilahi wasta laya hu main us shah ka, rad nahi tune kiya jinka kabhi wasta. Wo tere mehboob ke mehboob bhi hai, shahda bhi hai. Bakhsh de ya Rabb Mujaddid Alf Thani ke liye. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagh al-mubin.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammad wa alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam. Praise be to Allah. Durood Salaam upon Sayyidina Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And great men like the Mujaddid of 1,000 years. Great men like Shaykh Ahmad al Faruqi Sirhind-Fatehgarh Punjab. Great men like our Hazur Khaja Sufi Muhammad Aslam Sahib Shah, and great men like our great Shaykh who we are sat before. I was about to repeat the same thing. Often we say the Shaykh is sat before us. However, I think it's the other way around. We are sat before the Shaykh, because we are the ones who are to take from the Shaykh, rather than the Shaykh sat before us as though he is going to take something. However, this is muhabbat and this is biyar. Allah keep us in adab and Allah allow us to take from them. Inshallah, by the fazl of Allah and by the faizan of Mujaddid Pak rahmatullah alayh, next week is going to be Mujaddid Langar. Inshallah. So there are some brothers from the locality here, Dewsbury, who came together and said they'd like to put forward for Mujaddid Langar next week. However, our good brother Sufi Nadeem Sahab, all the way in Pakistan, Saliyal Sharif, heard that next week is Mujaddid Langar. So he said, because his father passed away several weeks ago, that it's coming up to their 40th anyhow. So as Sadaqah Jariyah, I want to give Mujaddid Langar for my father. Alhamdulillah. Allah bless Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. As we always say, he's out there in Pakistan, in Saliyal Sharif, working hard to complete the work of Markaz Fazan Medina. Now even today there was another earthquake in Allah's wisdom within the locality, the vicinity of Mirpur. I think one or two of the domes have become fractured. So there's a crack within them, and obviously if it continues then Allah knows if it will get worse or not. However, Sufi Sahib is out there. Sufi Sahib is out there. He will patch up the domes like the Shaykh patches our hearts. So inshallah, he's just keeping an eye out. It's been forecast that many aftershocks are to come. So we will see what happens. Allah knows best. But inshallah, with the muhabbat and piyar that the dost are contributing, running around, fundraising, our mothers, Sufi Danyal Sahib and his brothers, their grandmother donated £50 last week for Markaz Faizan Medina in Pakistan and requested the Shaykh for dua. They've been ill for a long time, so Allah give them a long life and give them good health and allow us all to contribute in such blessed projects and gatherings of Zikrullah and Zikr Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So to move forward, so next week will be Mujaddid Langar, inshallah. We'll make the preparations beforehand, and if Allah wills, we'll try to find some extra space. So make sure that you don't eat for 2 days before you come. Huh? So inshallah, bring your friends, bring your families, and we will take it from there. Regarding Sunday the 27th of October, as you know, Zafarullah Shah Sahib has invited Qibla Hazrat Sahib to come to the demonstration or the march or the protest, whatever is happening down in London. in support of our brothers and sisters of Kashmir. As yet, only a few Sanghi have come forward. So Azrat Sahab has instructed that we have a couple of Madani buses. Within the halaqah, we have the Dewsbury bus, we have the Nelson minibus. So if you like, regionally, we can come together and go on these buses. However, if Sanghi are working or whatever it might be, then inshallah we will look to make alternative arrangements. But the buses are there. Ideally, it would be very good if we can, at the minimum, if we can't fill a coach, at least fill the minibuses so that we can get down there and show the colour of Shadpur Sharif and Salyan Sharif. So for the final du'as for today's gathering, mashallah, one of our Sanghi brothers is leaving for the Nagari of Data Hazur in Lahore, so he's requested dua from Shaykh to ask, okay, Hazur, number one, do I have ijazah to go to Data Hazur? And number two, to make dua, Allah keeps us in adab and allows us to take from them. We also request Shaykh to make dua that this month there are so many great personalities, which historically, if you were to look through every single day, I've got an app which marks many great men. And by Allah, if you were to just mention their blessed names, you wouldn't have time to do anything else. So many great men have passed away, but specifically Hazur Khaja Mujaddid Alf Shaykh Ahmad Rahmatullah Alayh of Bareilly Sharif, they've passed away in this month, and obviously due to our silsila Naqshbandi, we mark and remember Mujaddid Pak Shaykh Ahmad al Faruqi Sirhind-Fatehgarh Punjab. So we request Shaykh to present this tofa in both of their majestic bargah. Dua for Sufi Rizwan Saab's wife's father, subhanallah, father-in-law, sister, whatever that means, Sufi put dua for them, Allah give them shifa. Dua for their pupo, Allah give them shifa. Recently, Sufi Saab's, during the week, his father-in-law passed away. Allah raise their maqam and give the family sabr. Dua for baby Aisha, who all of a sudden has become ill and gone to the hospital. Allah bless her with good health. Dua for Sayyid Akbar Shah Saab, who has passed away today, and he was a great lover of Qibla Alam Hazur Rahmatullah Alayh. Dua for a sister who is ill and on crutches. Dua for a young dost in Pakistan who has a hole in his heart and needs an operation next week. Allah give him a long life and make it easy for his family. And that's it for today. Jazakallah khair.
الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. یا اللہ پاک محفل درود سلام جو بھی ذکر و فکر درود شریف پڑھیا حضرت صاحب نے دلالہ کرا شریف حزب البیت شریف نقشید ملت کی تھی جو بھی لنگر ایک پایا گیا یا اللہ سب کا کرنا کرانا پکانا اپنی بارگاہ اس قبول منظور عطا فرما. اس تحفہ نبی کریم رؤوف الرحیم حضور رحمت عالم نور مجسم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم دی بارگاہ پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. آپ دے دفعہ جميع انبیاء شہداء صالحین آپ دی ازواج محترمات والدین کریمین آپ دی تمام اصحابہ پاک آپ دی تمام مبارک آل اولاد بے رسول چاری علیہ مصطفیٰ کی بارگاہ پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. سلسلہ علیہ نقشبندیہ سوربردیہ چشتیہ قادریہ ویسیہ شاذلیہ تمام بزرگوں کی بارگاہ پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. خصوص بالخصوص یا اللہ پاک سارے قارئ ہے اللہ صحابہ توفہ امام ربانی حضور مجدد الف ثانی شیخ احمد فروقی سرہندی رحمت اللہ علیہ دی پاک مقدس بارگاہ وچ ہدیۃً تحفۃً عقیدۃً محبتاً پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. حضور غوث اعظم رحمت اللہ علیہ شاہ بہاؤدین نقشبند رحمت اللہ علیہ دی بارگاہ پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. سارے دادا مرشد حضور قبلہ عالم خواجہ شاد پوری رحمت اللہ علیہ دی بارگاہ پیش کرنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. حاضرین محفل جتنے بھی نکے بڑے فوت ہو گئے یا اللہ سب نے ثواب بھیجنے قبول منظور عطا فرماؤ. جميع مومنین جميع مومنات جميع مسلمین جميع مسلمات جو جن مرد عورت ہیں جو ہو گزرے سب نے ثواب جنہیں قبول تو منظور عطا فرماؤ بالخصوص یا اللہ پاک جنہاں بزرگاں دا حضرت صاحب نے ذکر کیتا سید اکبر شاہ صاحب رحمتہ اللہ علیہ انہوں نے سب دا ثواب اور تحفہ پیش کرنے قبول تو منظور عطا فرماؤ کہ اللہ شاہ صاحب نے مزید درجات بلند عطا فرماؤ قبر حشر کی منزل آسان عطا فرماؤ تحت نگاہ کرو نہ دے قبر نو کشادہ اور وسیع عطا فرماؤ یا اللہ پاک امت مسلمہ دے حال پر رحمت عطا فرماؤ اسلام دا بول بالا عطا فرماؤ پھر حسوس یا اللہ پاک کشمیر دے مسلمانہ دے حال پر رحمت عطا فرماؤ غائبی امداد عطا فرماؤ حضور مجدد الف ثانی دے وسیلے نال یا اللہ پاک انہاں تے اپنے خصوصی کرم تے فضل عطا فرماؤ یا اللہ محفل پاک سے میرے حضور اللہ عالم میرے حضرت صاحب نے سے کلی عمر ہجری عطا فرماؤ آپ دا سایہ سر پر قائم دائم عطا فرماؤ آپ کے صاحبزادگان قبلہ اما جی آپ کی تمام آل اولاد کی خیر عطا فرماؤ یا اللہ پاک کے سارے محفل دا کار ہے اور تحفہ بالخصوص امام احمد رضا ہاں بریلوی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ کی بارگاہ پیش کرنے آپ قبول تے منظور عطا فرماؤ آپ کے مزید درجات بلند عطا فرماؤ آپ کا فیض عام عطا فرماؤ یا اللہ پاک اس محفل پاک صدقے جتنے بھی آئے نے سب دے نیک اور دلی حاجات پوری فرماؤ بالخصوص جنہیں دعاواں صدا صاحب نے پڑھ کے دسی ہیں یا اللہ تسی جاننے والے سب دے نیک اور دلی حاجات پوری فرماؤ سب بیماروں کو شفا عطا فرماؤ جتنے بھی دوستان نے فوت ہو گئے سب دے درجے بلند عطا فرماؤ یا اللہ پاک جتنے بھی محفل چاہے نے ان سارے ذکر علی خیر عطا فرماؤ خوشیاں مسرتاں شادمانی علی زندگی عطا فرماؤ میرے حضور قبلہ عالم فیضان نال سب نو بھرپور مالا مال عطا فرماؤ صلی اللہ علیہ حبیبہ محمد و آلہ وسلم.